Namaste yogis, Amy here. Today I am bringing you a 60-minute relaxed yoga class. So this is just a more gentle style. We still want to move the body, get some stretching, but our focus is not necessarily fitness or athleticism or advanced postures, simply tuning into the body and helping to create more space and ease. So as always, we start with the breath. So come to a comfortable seat. I'll actually stay kneeling today, so that's always an option. You could take cross-legged position as well. We call that Sukhasana, easy pose. You might think crisscross applesauce from back in the school days. So anything that allows you to feel grounded, connected to the earth, as well as to find a nice tall spine. So you might find yourself throughout the day hunching, but we want to bring some awareness to our posture when practicing yoga, and ideally throughout the rest of our day to elevate the spine, relax the shoulders down away from the ears, and find that alignment of ears over shoulders over hips. Let's just take a couple deep breaths to start. A big nourishing inhale through the nose, and a cleansing exhale out through the mouth. Two more like that. Really fill up your lungs. And feel yourself letting go. And then close your eyes if they're not already. Just let your breath return to its effortless state. You can fix your inner gaze right in between your eyebrows to help focus your mind. And bring your awareness to follow the path of each breath as it moves through your body. How quickly can you drop into your body and enliven all of your senses? Allow feeling to become front and center while thinking takes a back seat. Notice sounds, sensations, temperatures, and textures. And before we get started, perhaps you'd like to set an intention for your practice, whatever drew you to your mat today, whether you need some peace, comfort, relaxation, or simply more presence. And we'll start with just a couple simple warm-ups this morning. So come to a cross-legged position here, and we'll take Sufi rotations to start. Bring your hands to your lap and begin to draw circles with your spine around the bowl of your pelvis. You could imagine stirring a spoon in a bowl of ice cream. Moving from one sitting bone to the other. Feeling the hips start to open up in that fluid quality. The hips are associated with the water element in yoga. And feel as though your breath were synchronized to your movement. Drop the need for achievement, striving, or competition, and just allow yourself to really savor the experience of being in your body. And then at your own pace, pause in reverse directions. Continue to stay connected. Notice what it is you're feeling in your body without story, without judgment. but just taking inventory. And allow yourself to have an even mind, regardless of whatever comes up, be it pleasant or unpleasant. Come back up to a tall seat and bring your hands to your shins. Take a spinal flex or seated cat-cow. Inhale, lift your sternum, draw your shoulder tips together behind you. And exhale, round the spine. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, round. So this can be at whatever pace you would like, but feel the end of each breath corresponding to the end of each movement. Let go of the idea that you need to be in a hurry and allow yourself to move from that place of inspiration or intuitive impulse, moving because your body wants to move, not because your mind told it to. Take a few more rounds here. Try to feel every vertebrae in your spine participating in the movement. And then we'll come back to a tall seat. And take some neck rolls here. So drop your right ear down to your right shoulder. Very gently lower your head back if that doesn't create any pain. If there is pain or discomfort from this pose, then just take half circles, rolling your chin down to your chest. It's important to take this movement slowly. Keep your shoulders relaxed, down away from your ears. And as you deepen the breath, feel these long muscles on the side of the neck begin to open up. The next time your chin is at your chest, pause in reverse directions. Notice any differences on this side, any crunchy parts, any sticky spots. And know that your yoga practice will always meet you where you're at. So yoga is really about bringing the body in balance. There's no one right way. Perhaps there's a time for our faster paced vinyasa classes, but there are also gentle and restorative practices we can use when we need as well. So let's move on to another of my favorite neck stretches. Bring your hands behind your back. Interlace your hands. Pull your fist down, drawing shoulder blades down the back, and then bring your fist over into your right hip crease, or just as far as you're able. If you can't reach all the way to the side, no problem. Then drop your right ear down to your right shoulder so the ear moves to the same side your fist is on. And again, we're elongating all these muscles here that hold our head up all day. This might already feel good here, but if you want a little bit more of an exploration, I invite you to close your eyes down. Feel your way into this slowly. Tilt your chin down to your chest. And roll your chin up to the sky. So less is more here. Take really small movements. Feeling into where your body needs this stretch. And then inhale, come back up to center. Switch your fist over to the other side and drop left ear down to left shoulder. Again, you can find that exploration of very small, gentle movements until you find that Goldilocks spot. Not too little, not too much, just right. Come back up to center. And our final seated pose here, we'll take eagle arms. Wrap your right arm underneath your left. Bend at the elbows. If you can, bring your palms to touch. If the palms don't touch together, you can leave the backs of your hands together, or you can grab opposite shoulders here. So there are no wrong options in yoga. It's simply working with what your body needs at any given moment. So you can stay here. If you'd like a little more, lift your elbows, pull your palms away from your face. And take 3 deep breaths into the upper back. Feel your shoulder blades separate here. Soften any tension. The weight of any burdens you carry around, let it go here and now. Unwind your arms. Bring them wide. Left arm moves under right. Bend at the elbows. Bring your palms to touch. This is Garudasana. Lift your elbows. Pull your palms away from your face. 3 more breaths here. This is one of my go-to stretches for shoulder tension. Unwind the arms and roll over onto your hands and knees. We'll take cat-cows here, or undulations in the spine. First, give yourself a strong foundation. Spread your fingers nice and wide and root through the base knuckles where your fingers meet your palm. Stack your shoulders over your wrist, your hips over your knees. On an inhale, drop your belly, lift your hips, chest, and gaze. Exhale, push the floor away from you, arch your back, draw your navel in toward your spine, and we'll do this for several rounds. Move at your own pace. Again, match your movement to your breath. Initiate the movement from your tailbone. Let it curl all the way up your spine as if you could grow an inch. And try to feel every vertebrae. Participate in this movement. Find a deeper connection to your body and increase your ability to perceive details. And again, you can honor your intuition here, so if it feels good to add any other wiggles or wags of the tail, you can beyond just this arching and undulating of the spine. You could sway your hips side to side, peek over one shoulder at a time to open the side body. Or perhaps take some barrel rolls in circles. Come back to that neutral tabletop position. Engage your core lightly, so draw your navel in toward your spine. We'll take thread the needle next. Plant your left hand, reach the right arm high, give your wrist a spin, and exhale, thread the needle. Your right hand reaches underneath the left until your right ear can come to the mat. You have a couple options with that left hand. You can leave it where it's at. I like to crawl it forward to the top of the mat, adding a big side stretch. Or you could wrap it back behind you. Tuck your left fingers into your right hip crease. And then regardless of where you leave that left hand, sway your hips over to the right just a little bit. Take 3 long breaths the length of your spine. Bring your left hand back by your face, push into the mat. Reach up tall to the ceiling with your right fingertips spread across your wingspan and come down to all fours. We'll take that to the other side. Plant your right hand down. Reach up with the left fingertips. Open up the wrist a couple times. Extend. And on an exhale, reach your left hand underneath the right. Bring your left ear to rest on the mat. Slide your right hand forward. Drift your hips over to the left, elongating the spine, and take 3 easy breaths here. Notice where exactly in your body you feel this pose. Bring your right hand back by your face, push into the mat, reach up tall with your left fingertips, and come down to all fours. We'll move into puppy dog pose, Anahatasana next. So keep your hips right over your knees, walk your palms forward until your forehead can come to rest to the mat. You can always bring the mat closer to you by stacking books or a pillow underneath your forehead. If your shoulders feel tight, walk your hands slightly wider. And if you want more sensation here, you can lift your chin to the mat. Let go of all effort. Surrender into this pose. Going deeper not by force, but by allowing and receiving instead. Walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Again, spread your fingers nice and wide. Curl your toes under, lift your hips high, take downward facing dog. You can take any movements you want here to continue allowing your body to open. So you might walk your dog, which is bending one knee as you straighten the other so you can really open one calf at a time. If your hamstrings are tight, bend both knees, focus on lifting your sitting bones up to the sky. But no matter what the legs are doing, push the front of the mat away from you, lift through your armpits, press your heart back toward your thighs, roll your biceps up toward the sky and the points of your elbows down toward your mat. Ground through the L shape of your thumb and forefinger, and try to transfer more of your weight into the hips and legs. Let your head hang heavy. So I see a lot of people doing this. Allow your ears to rest between your biceps. Draw your belly to your spine. Keep lifting sitting bones up to the sky. Perhaps you begin to ground your heels down toward the mat. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Bend your knees, look between your hands, and take a gentle walk up to the top of your mat. Come to a halfway lift on your inhale, so bring your hands to shins or thighs. Lengthen your back. Draw the shoulder blades toward your spine. And exhale, step your feet at least hip distance apart. Bend your knees generously and take a forward fold with ragdoll variation. So let your head hang heavy. Grab opposite biceps or elbows here. Try to bring more weight into the balls of your feet, so find a lightness in your heels, allowing your hips to stack over the ankles. You could add a little sway side to side, let gravity decompress your low back. Feel that opening in the hamstrings, the entire back body here. You might shake your head, yes and no. Check in with any holding patterns or contracting that are habitual in your neck. Release your hands down to the mat. Toe heel your feet closer together. Put your right hand down, bend your right knee, straighten the left leg, and reach your left arm up to the sky for a twist. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale, press that top hand into an imaginary wall. Rotate your chest open toward the ceiling. Take a full breath in. And exhale, bend that left hand down to the mat. Bend your left knee, straighten the right leg. Next inhale, reach your right fingertips up to the sky. Spread across your wingspan. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale again. Push your hand into that imaginary wall, rotate the chest open. So we don't deepen a twist by bringing the arm back. We want the entire upper spine to move. Exhale, bring your right hand down. Release your hands to your hips, bend both knees, root through the feet, and engage the core to rise up to standing. Good. Take a moment in Tadasana. Bring your feet to hip distance apart. Spread and lift your toes and then set them back down. Ground into all four corners of the feet. So feel equal weight in your big toe mound, your pinky toe mound, the inner and outer heel. Lift the arches of your feet. We call this pada bandha. If you don't know how to do that, try lifting your inner ankles. That might help. Lift your kneecaps to help your quadriceps engage. Allow your pelvis to become heavy toward the earth. Lift your heart, settle your shoulders down the back. And see if you can feel what the entire body is doing here. Noticing that flow of vitality and energy we call prana. We'll take a couple easy sun salutations here, nice and slow, just to get a little bit of movement in the body before some longer holds. So, standing at the top of your mat, feet hip distance apart, reach your arms up overhead. You can look up as long as there's no pain in your neck. And exhale, forward fold. Keep as much bend in the knees as you need. Inhale, lift up halfway. Try to flatten your back. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back to plank. Lower the knees down. Come all the way to the belly. Rest the tops of your feet on the mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Draw the elbows toward the back of your mat and your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, lift your chest, cobra pose. Exhale, lower back down. Push up onto hands and knees. Curl your toes, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Reach your arms up overhead, come to standing. Exhale, bring your hands through your heart, root your feet down into the earth so you feel grounded and stable. Inhale, reach the arms up over high. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant your hands, step back, lower the knees down, lower all the way to the belly. Inhale, lift your chest, press into all 10 toenails, draw the upper arm bones back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. One full breath in. One easy exhale. Bend your knees, walk to the top of your mat. We'll take one more round here. Let this be a moving meditation. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Inhale, rise up, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Last round, inhale. Exhale, fold. Allow your pelvis to tilt forward on the way down, halfway lift, pull belly to spine. Plant your hands, step back, lower down. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lower down. Tabletop position. Curl your toes, take downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Easy breath out. Three-legged dog. On an inhale, reach your right toes high. Keep that right toe pointing down, so we don't want to open the hips here, but keep them square and use the quadricep to straighten the leg and your glute muscle to pull the leg higher back behind you. Take one more inhale here. And exhale. Reach the right foot forward between your hands, come to low lunge. And then just feather in and out of that for a moment. Bend and straighten into that front leg. See how your hip is doing. Plant your left hand down. Reach your right hand high for a twist. You want to lower the back knee down. You can make it even more gentle here. All twists have the same component. On your inhale, try to lengthen your spine from your tailbone to your crown. As you exhale, engage the core, open up and twist deeper. One more inhale. Bring that right hand down inside of the right foot for runner's lunge or lizard pose. So if you had that back knee lifted, you can drop it down here. You can stay resting on your palms. Some of you might be able to lower down to your forearms. That causes me to round my back. Today, I'll stay up onto my palms. Again, you want some sensation, but no pain, which requires discernment. It's okay to push your edge very gently, but we don't want to injure the body or cause it to contract even more in protection. Try to breathe into any tightness you encounter. If you're on your forearms, push back up onto your palms. Leave your left hand planted down. Bring your right hand inside the right knee and let it wing open to the side. It'll be easier to see on the other side. Lift your chest. Allow your pelvis to drop heavily toward the mat. You can stay right here, or you can reach back with your left hand and capture your left foot. If you do have the foot, pull your heel in closer to your glutes. Release your foot. Try not to let it slingshot. Plant that right hand back down. So frame your right foot with your hands. And then straighten your front leg for half splits. Lift your toes toward your face. Take a halfway lift to flatten the back. And keep that length in the front of your spine as you lower down. So if you just round, it's going to be quite a different experience than if you keep the core engaged. Draw your right hip crease backward as you lengthen the front of your chest forward. So give your body time to open up, moving from a place of integration and connection rather than just forcing yourself into some arbitrary shape. Stay one more breath here. Bend back into your front knee. Plant the hands down, lift your back knee, step your right foot back, lower the knees down. Lower all the way down to the belly, keep your elbows hugging in toward your ribs as you lower. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades onto the back, peel up into cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. Push up into tabletop. Curl the toes, press back to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in here. Notice how you feel from one side to the other. Reach the left toes high this time, three-legged dog. Again, toes point down, straighten the leg, reach a little higher. Exhale, reach your left foot in between your hands, step to the top of your mat, low lunge. We hold asymmetry in the hips. So notice how the side might feel different, feels more open, or perhaps stronger. After you straighten and bend into that front leg a couple times, settle into your low lunge. Stack your front knee right over the front ankle. Plant the right hand down. Reach your left hand high for a twist. You can stay here or lower that back knee down and focus on the twist rather than your balance and strengthen the legs. As you inhale, try to grow your spine taller. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale, open up your chest. 2 more breaths. Lower your left hand down inside of the left foot for runner's lunge or lizard pose. So you can stay right here. Again, we're looking for that edge. You might be able to lower down onto your forearms here. And some people, the knee will splay wide. Try to hug it in toward midline here. If you need, you can toe heel the entire foot a little bit wider. Our Hips have a tendency to hold emotions that we don't want to feel or deal with, so it's possible some of that comes up in this pose. Just notice, be curious, but keep that slow, even breath and calm mind. Notice what changes with every inhale and exhale. Push back up onto your palms. Right hand will stay down, left hand comes inside the left knee, let it fall open to the side. So sort of like a modified pigeon pose here. I'm on the outer edge of the front foot here, with the inner edge lifting off the mat, and you can stay here or bend the back knee and reach for your foot. If you can't reach the foot, you could just take the twist or just leave your hand inside that front knee. If you do have the foot, pull your heel in close to your groin, or your glute rather. Good, release the foot gently. Bring your left hand back to frame the left foot. Toe heel your foot to the center of the mat. Straighten the front leg, lift your toes. You could rest your hands on blocks here to bring the floor closer to you. On an inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, keep that length in the spine as you fold down. And focus on that opening in the back of the leg. And stay dynamic rather than settling into a static pose. Keep moving and feeling with every breath. Then back into your front knee. Plant your hands down, curl the back toes under, lift the back knee. Step your left foot back, lower the knees down, lower down to your belly. Flip onto the tops of your feet. Inhale, lift your chest for a baby back bend, cobra pose, bhujangasana. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, push to hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. Every time we're here, feel as though it were the first time we're in this pose. What's new? Take one more breath. And come down to the knees to rest in child's pose. Bring your knees wide to the outer edges of your mat for your big toes to touch. Rest the weight of your hips back toward your heels and lower your forehead down. You can leave your arms in front of you, or you can wrap them back along your side to allow the shoulders to relax. And just distribute your breath throughout your body here. Notice how your inhales create space, and your exhales can soften tension. Just notice the effects of our practice so far. Allow yourself to completely surrender to gravity. Let each breath expand your belly. And slowly press yourself up to all fours. And then come to take a seat. So we'll be taking seated stretches from here on out. The first one is Shavasana, which is a single leg forward fold. Extend your right leg long and pull your left foot to rest on your right inner thigh. You might take your hands, peel the extra flesh of your buttocks out from underneath you to help the pelvis tilt forward. So we don't want to slump or round in the low back, but rather rest our weight on the bony part of our pelvis, the sitting bones. Good. Flex the right toes toward your face. Reach your arms up overhead, lengthen your spine. Exhale, allow the pelvis to tilt. And reach forward, keeping that long front spine. You can rest your hands onto the floor. If you can reach your toes, great. And if you can't reach your toes, then you can use a strap. If you're working at home, you could use a towel, you could use a belt, or I've got my yoga mat strap here. So what this allows us to do is, instead of hunching, again, we can hold the strap and keep the spine nice and long. You want the elbows to be bent here, so not extending out of the shoulder socket. And focus on hinging from the hip joint rather than your low back. Once you find a comfortable edge, let's just stay 3 breaths. Slowly release yourself back up to a tall seat. Switch out the bend in your legs. Bring your left leg long, bend the right knee, and rest the sole of your right foot on your left inner thigh. If this bent knee is not able to rest on the floor, then you can support it with a block. You could roll up a towel or blankets if you're at home, or even just stack up some books. So give it some support. If you'd like to use your strap on this side, hook it around the foot. Inhale, lengthen from your sitting bones up tall through the crown of your head. Exhale, engage the navel and begin to tilt forward. As soon as you feel yourself rounding, inhale, try to lengthen once more. And exhale, fold just a little bit deeper. So feel yourself move with every breath. You might notice stark differences from one side to the next, so resolve to create more symmetry in the body. Gently release back up to a seat. And we'll take revolved Janu Shavasana next. So you can leave your right foot resting on the inseam of your left thigh, but bring the knee a little wider and the left leg a little wider. So rather than the leg straight out in front, as in the last pose, we're in a wide-legged position here. That right knee doesn't rest on the floor, set it on a block. You could elevate your sitting bones just slightly onto a blanket if you'd like. And then a couple different options here. So you can reach your left hand down your shin, and you might just stay here. A more gentle variation would to bring your block behind your straight thigh. Lean over, rest your elbow on it, make a fist to rest your head on. Now you can stay here. I'm rooting through the right sitting bone, which is helping me to expand the right side body. And if you'd like, you can reach the top arm overhead. To go a little bit deeper, again, you can rest your hand on your shin. If you're more open, you might be able to bring your left arm inside the shin, turn palm up, hook your peace fingers or first 2 fingers underneath your Achilles tendon. Press your elbow into your knee to rotate your chest open. Focus on lengthening hip to armpit on that left lower side. And again, you have the option to bring the top arm overhead here. This is a wonderful stretch for the low back. Draw that top shoulder toward the back of your mat. Soften your face, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Slowly, gently come back up to center, and we'll take that shape on the other side. Bring both soles of the feet together here for a moment. Hold your big toes, sit up tall, just flap your knees. No pressure from the hands here, but find that gentle opening in the hips. And then extend the right leg out long, opening it wide, and pull your left heel in toward your groin here. Support that bent knee if needed. Honor any differences, so always go by feel. You never have to match one side to look like the other. Instead, it's what feels best. So begin to lengthen from hip to armpit on the right side. You could grab your block here for this more restful variation. You can rest the right forearm on the shin, inside the shin if you choose. And then, if and when you're ready, bring the top arm up overhead. I am less open on this side, so you might notice how it feels in your body, any differences that you have. Notice how your breath helps you go deeper into the pose. Gently come back up to a seat. Bring the soles of the feet together. One more time in cobbler's pose or Baddha Konasana. Flap the knees up and down. And then you can lower down onto your back. So come onto your mat. We'll come into a hip opener for supine or reclining figure 4 next. Bring your feet flat to the floor, bend your knees, pointing them up toward the sky. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Flex your right toes back toward your right knee. This might be enough, you could stay right here. If you want more of a stretch, bring your left thigh toward your face, hook your hands around the left thigh, interlace your fingers, and keep your shoulders relaxed to the mat. Lengthen your low back and tailbone to the mat. And you can add some light pressure, pull your left thigh towards you. If it's accessible, use your right elbow to push your right thigh away. Keep the right toes flexed and stay here for 3 to 5 breaths. This is a great alternative to pigeon pose as well, if you have any injuries in your knee. Circle out that left ankle, point and flex the toes. Good. Release your hands from behind the left thigh, rest your left foot to the mat. Bring your arms into a T shape and drop the lower body over to the left for a twist. So you keep your legs, right ankle crossed over the left knee, and just drop to the left until your right foot can rest on the floor. My right arm is a counterweight, helps to soften my right shoulder to the mat, increasing the twist throughout the entire spine. Stay 3 to 5 breaths. Back up to center. Uncross your legs. We'll try that on the other side. So both feet flat on the floor here. Cross left ankle over right knee. Flex your left toes. Draw your right thigh toward you. Interlace your hands around the right thigh. Some people like it around the shin as well. And then if your low back lifts up, try to flatten your tailbone to the mat even as you continue pulling your right thigh or shin in toward you. Soften your shoulders. So we're going to be yanking off the floor here, but softening our weight down into the earth. And imagine your inhales can move deeper down into the hips themselves. Notice how much is moving and changing even as we're still. Release your hands, lower the right foot to the mat, bring your arms out wide to the T shape and allow the cross of your legs to drop over to the right until your left foot is flat on the floor. And then shift your gaze over to the left. Soften your weight to the mat and just relax into a few breaths here. So what makes yoga different than stretching is the fact that we're bringing awareness to what we're doing. So you want to stay connected to that felt sensation of the body as you're in the pose. It's as if each shape were its own unique meditation with its own signature energetic pattern. Come back up to center, uncross the legs, and take a full body stretch. Extend your legs long and bring your arms up overhead. This next pose is Banana Asana. It's just like it sounds. We'll make a banana shape. Slide your right leg along the floor over to the right. Slide your left leg over to meet the right. At some point, it's likely your hip will lift off the earth. So flatten that back down, and that's your stopping point. Curl your arms over to the right as well. We're making a banana shape here. Leave both shoulders and hips pinned to the floor and allow your breath to expand in between your left side ribs. Close your eyes, completely relax from head to toes. Let everything slow down. Follow your inhales until you're completely full. And your exhales until you're completely empty. Come back to center. Take a full body stretch. We'll try that on the other side. Slide your left leg along the floor, over to the left. Slide your right leg over to the left. And then crawl your upper body over as well into that banana shape. Rest both shoulders and both hips on the mat. Surrender all effort, any struggle, and allow yourself to soften. Come back up to center. Come into supported bridge next. So if you have a block, you can use that. If not, you can use a small couch cushion. For me, the block hurts underneath my back, so I always use a bolster instead. So come onto your back, bend the knees, bring your feet flat to the floor. Roll your shoulders underneath you and press into your heels until you can lift your hips off the floor. Slide your block or your cushion underneath your low back and rest back down. Good, you can rest your palms by your side, facing up. So a nice release for the low back. It's also good for the front hip flexors And we get our heart slightly higher than our head here for the benefits of an inversion, which are lots of blood flow to the brain. And in this particular pose, we are helping to bring into balance the thyroid gland. Feel the connection of your feet to the mat. Relax your ankles, your calves, your thighs, your hips. Consciously release any holding in your low back. Soften your belly. Relax the space around your heart. Soften your shoulders into the mat. And allow your head to get even heavier so you can release any tension in your neck. Notice how it feels for you to slow down. Sometimes it's relaxing, sometimes it's more challenging. So just notice whatever reactions might arise from that place of the witness, rather than getting tangled in the reaction itself. You can stay right here or lift your feet up to the sky. You're still supported on that block or cushion here right at the low back, so there should be relatively no effort required to leave your feet up to the sky. If you've got a wall handy, you could just turn so that your hips are against the wall and your legs are resting on it instead, but I'll stay here for now. This is Viparita Karani Mudra, balancing to all of the different winds or patterns of movement in the body. This is a deeply relaxing, calming shape for the nervous system. Can you keep your mind entirely concentrated on the breath? Very easily lower your feet back down to the mat, press into the heels, lift your hips, take your props out from underneath you, and lower back down. Draw your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your shins, give yourself a big hug, a tight squeeze. If it feels nice, you can add a little rock side to side to massage your low back. And then one final squeeze, curl into a tiny little ball. And release into our final pose, Shavasana or corpse pose. Extend your legs long, tuck your shoulders underneath you. Take up the full space of your mat. So allow your legs to spread wide, rest your arms by your side. If your low back needs support, roll up a towel, a blanket, or throw some pillows underneath your knees. You could cover up with a blanket here if you need, or give yourself a pillow or eye pillow. But allow yourself to take any movements you need in order to get as comfortable as possible. Close your eyes down. Take one more conscious breath in. And a big cleansing open mouth exhale. And allow yourself to relax for a few moments here with nothing to do, nothing to plan, nothing to think about. Just savor the beautiful gift of each once-in-a-lifetime breath. If your mind still feels busy, you might work with a simple mantra. As you inhale, think to yourself, I relax from my toes to my head. As you exhale, I relax from my head to my toes. Feel your body get heavier. Allow yourself to feel completely supported here, as if you had everything you needed. Rest as that vast space in which all your thoughts, images, emotions, and sensations arise. You might ask yourself, what would it feel like in my body if I had no fears, no worry, if I could just let go of it all? How would that feel in my body? And give yourself permission to feel that here and now. If that doesn't feel true for your experience, then just embrace with compassion and curiosity and openness whatever it is that does arise. Try not to change it or fix it or make it go away. Please allow yourself to stay here and enjoy this relaxed state as long as it serves you. When you do feel ready, you can start to draw in a deeper breath. Start to bring vitality back into your fingertips and your toes. Wake up with some small movements. And at your own pace, you can eventually reach your arms up overhead for a full body stretch. Roll over onto one side of your mat. Pause for a moment. Rest your head on your bottom arm. And then very gently press yourself up to a seat. Close your eyes. Take a moment. Just notice the effects of your practice. Notice any space that you created in your body, your mind, your spirit. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Bow your head into your hands. Thank yourself for your practice, for showing up today and carving out this time to care for yourself. And we bow to that inherent light, wisdom, and beauty, the divine, in all beings, knowing that we are all one. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you leave feeling better than when you started. If you liked it, please like this video. Please feel free to send me your comments, your questions, your feedback, as well as to share with any friends. Thank you so much. I hope to see you soon. Stay well. Namaste.